Hello, and welcome to Twenties Aplenty and our continuing weekly campaign, the Headhunter Chronicles, a D&D adventure involving random people on the internet. Unfortunately, Nell has decided that she no longer wants to be part of the campaign, which is unfortunate, but hopefully she will be able to pop back now and again to pay us a visit. This week, the group do a bit of shopping, collect a bounty, and head to the Wizards College to meet an old acquaintance. If you enjoyed today's session, please remember to like and subscribe. Either way, we'd love to know what you think. And with that, we hope you enjoy today's episode.
We travel and roll, our intentions are good. Maybe. We fight, at times polite. It's DnD.
When last we set off, the group were trying to track down the murderer of Acro Greenhammer, the dwarf member of the Brotherhood of Builders who worked for the Catan City Mint. Thanks to the investigatory powers of Korsk and Luci, they discovered that after putting the fear of God into Beldebal, the art dealer, they discovered that she was indeed the murderer. Upon her confession to Lucius, the head of the Brotherhood of Builders, they were rewarded with Kemlin being allowed entry to the Brotherhood and also an audience with one of the Sorcerer's Circle. After that, the group returned to the refugee camp for the evening. On their way, they were set upon by two of the Brown Hoods, the former members of the Thieves Guild that had turned assassin. They'd been obviously hired by Armand's Coinscrew to kill the group. The group could hear footsteps behind them and were shepherded into a small market square. As they entered, they were ambushed by Andre Brownhood and Cynthia Brownhood. A battle started, short but fierce, in which Luci was knocked unconscious and would have died had Cynthia not held back to allow her son to deal the killing blow. That allowed the rest of the group to start healing Luci and deal the death blows they needed to wipe out Cynthia and Andre. Wounded, but victorious, the group headed back to the refugee camp. Amanita was in quite a dark mood, angry that her friend had been attacked and was left brooding by the fire as they ate their supper. And one by one, the group retired for the evening. Bit of a Mexican standoff between Varric and Amanita as to who would be the last one to go to bed, but in the end it was Amanita. Soon after the sun rose, the birds were singing. The dink, dink, dink of Dunley Swifthammer's hammer was going. As the smell of bacon and sausages filled the air, the group had breakfast and discussed what they wanted to do for the forthcoming day. And the plan at that point was Amanita would like a staff. Sam's informed me that Korsk would also like to do a little bit of shopping. Luci would like to collect the bounty for our friends, the Brown Hoods. And Korsk needs to report back to the college. So, what's the first order of business?
Crit fail with an intelligence roll, apparently.
Yep.
Lucy's suddenly struggling to breathe.
Crossy, I thought I had bad luck with the triple one on a crit.
So, what are we doing here?
So, Korsk will grab Luci and start heading off to market. And he has an idea for what to do with to make Amanita's staff a particularly good gift.
Ooh.
Okay.
Just dragging Luci by his cloak as he's trying to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, we need the famous pants in order to do any trade.
So, Varric, Amanita, are you following along?
Yeah, I'll follow along. I'll push through and stuff.
We're just walking through the streets carrying Lucy like he should be in the body post.
This is just.
Just going to stay behind for a bit.
So, the remainder of the group, we'll get to Amanita in a bit. What are you guys doing?
Alright, so I think we'll do this first. Is there a blacksmith or armor vendor?
Yes. So, there was
I have a feeling I just stepped into something without realizing it.
You did. Why don't you ask Varric whether or not there is an armourer in the city?
So, Varric, I'm going to need to make certain investments if I'm going to keep rolling with this group. Particularly in terms of protection. Is there a blacksmith you visited before?
I mean, it depends what you're after. If you're looking for armor, you can go to a place that we went to prior with the group. That was good. Luci can probably remind you where that is, or take you there. I vaguely remember. But there's a weaponsmith as well, but he's a bit of a character, shall we say. I'm not a fan.
I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but Lucy's looking kind of vacant right now.
Yeah, I mean, he just gets like that sometimes. I've seen it a couple of times now. It'd be fine. I'll lead you there. It's fine. I'll lead you to the armor guy anyway. Yeah.
Bursts of energy. Maybe tiefling metabolism? Worth looking into.
Maybe. So,
Korska's still thinking of the moment when Lucy drank the swiftness potion and went like a child on too many M&Ms.
He nearly moved that carriage. He believes it. Could have done it.
So, you head your way through the refugee camp, through the west dock, through the north dock, along into the market square. You will roll a perception check, please.
Are we going also? Do we pass that bulletin board we saw before?
I think it's on the it's at the entrance to the market square.
Okay. As we pass, Lucy would have taken the wanted posters of the two.
Korsk, you every now and again you stop thinking that you've heard footsteps. Varric, you don't sense anything. You are fairly confident that your friend is just being a little bit skittish, having had the previous day's events rule out.
If you're worried about those assassins that we kind of... I'm saying this to Draconic as well. If you're worried about those assassins we bumped into, don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll be fine. We're smooth sailing at the minute. I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, it pays to be careful. There's still that matter of the what was his name? Golden something or other. Corkscrew? Was that his name?
You mean Coin Screw? And I'll
Coin Screw.
whispering this to you. We shouldn't mention his name out loud. That's That's a private matter discussion.
Of course. The walls are theirs.
He, Lucy, as you are being dragged backwards, you don't see anything. Mind you, you are a little bit kind of focused on breathing. I would say, there is more than one. There are more than two brown hoods, is all I would say to Sam. So, as you reach the market square in the bulletin board, and Lucy finally gathers his wits enough to say, "Whoa, stop!" and then goes and grabs the two posters, you will note there is a third, a urine brown hood.
Is there a like a sketch of this person on there as well?
It's on the poster, yeah.
Okay.
He is now.
Sorry. Yeah.
He's now a short elf with a brown hood, but you can kind of just see he is kind of, and his features are very elf-like. You can kind of get the impression that Cynthia, the human female, and him had given birth to Andre, who was much younger, has a likeness to the two older ones.
Just flash a very pointed look at Lucy, thinking about what he did last session in that combat. So I think we know who will be going first if we run into this person.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, incidentally, have this. He hands a potion of resilience to you.
Lucy's going to drink it straight away.
Well, that's a wasted potion then. It wears off in 10 minutes, I think.
Yep! Critical 0, Sam. Critical 0.
I'll think about that next time.
Oh dear.
Lucy's just sitting there waiting for the energy buzz.
So, you make your way into the market square proper, and Varric directs you to the armourers. And the one-legged chap that was there previously is still sat on his stool, sees you coming in. Welcome. It's returning customers.
It's
Soldier
good to see
friend.
you. Yeah, good to see him.
Always good to see a fellow soldier.
Can
Now,
I give my strong handshake. Can I go in for one?
okay. Now, what can I do for you?
Yeah, my little friend here was looking at potentially getting some better equipment. He's recently joined our group of friends, and he's needing some extra protection for the things we're doing around town these days.
What sort of thing are you thinking for, my friend?
Steel plate would be ideal. Perhaps a breastplate. You seem to have a fine collection here, I believe. He's trying to look like an enlightened customer, but he's just looking at completely the wrong sets of equipment. It's a vambrace instead of a breastplate.
Yes, breastplate would do a person as I wouldn't recommend full plate. That's probably a little bit too heavy for one with your physique. You need something where you can maneuver. A breastplate would be a good choice for you. Don't get too much call for kobolds. armor here. So I may need to fashion something from one of my existing stock.
Exactly. Something that's perhaps been used a few times.
When it comes to armor, a used piece of armor is as good as a brand new piece of armor, as long as it's not rusty. I don't do rust. I would... let me see. And he kind of goes in the back and you can hear lots of clanking.
Of course, just kind of steps up and tries to lean over the counter to see what he's doing.
You can kind of see that he's going through some old breastplates and stuff. On one leg, kind of half kneeling on his crutch, but that gives way and he kind of balances off. Picks the crutch back up and grabs a breastplate and comes through and he goes, I think I could fashion this up for you. It's just a steel breastplate, but it's more a looks like it's an adolescence type of size, but for a kind of kobold's body, which is quite kind of slender, it's probably not a bad fit as it is. So he takes a few measurements of you, and he's like, oh, this won't take long at all. 10 minutes. And he's kind of takes it into the back and gives it a good hammering. Calls you in a couple of times to test it. And then reappears with this breastplate that fits. He's like, well, given you with my friend here, but I've had to make some adjustments, so I can give you it for 450 gold pieces.
Let me try it on one more time. It's just like...
Having a moment of clarity, Lucy will lean over to Farrick and say, would one of the sets of armor I have do him?
I don't know. My friend, what about the refashion, taking the work to refashion one of the sets that my friend Lucy here has?
What have you got? Is it plate armor?
Oh, I've got a spare set of half plate.
Is that medium or heavy armor?
That's medium.
Okay.
Also, remembers how to breathe.
Well, you see, that's a little bit more intricate and takes a little bit more fixing. So I would say, maybe another probably be about 200 gold to seeing as you're friendly, 150 gold to whip into shape.
I think as we're your friend, we'll give you 175 for that fine deal.
Okay. I can do that.
Indeed, the fit is fantastic on this thing. What was it, 500?
For the breastplate? I think I said 450, didn't I?
Of course.
But your friend's got some armor some half plate. Would you not prefer that?
Oh, no. As you say, I need to rein them in.
Okay. Maybe we could do a bit better than 450.
What if we traded in the armor that we had? Lucy, no, you don't want to trade it in?
That
No.
expensive armor.
Well,
So the way I see it, the man has gone to enough work on for our class already. I'm happy to just hand over the fee requested.
If you're happy with that course, that's fine.
450 then.
Lucy. Heather is going to click in the direction of Lucy's pants.
Oh, right.
Make sure you get the right item to barter with.
You didn't give
Clicks
me
in the direction of
cash.
pants.
Remember, you still have it.
Oh, I thought we put the coin purse in the pants folding.
You never gave it to me.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
He took some out and gave you the rest. I can't remember how much he took out.
300.
Yeah.
So it'll be a 450 withdrawal from the bank of Lucy's pants.
Okay, so you took 300, 7,700, taking out 450. Okay.
Cool. And we'll just
Lucy,
update that.
Can I have a small loan of 1,000 gold for the time being?
Group money, sure.
Awesome. Good to know.
Pants.
Also, I'm mad at you, Lucy. Yesterday I went to go to that damn bar and you'd put a whole bunch of money on those damn guys' tab. I had to pay that every inch of it.
They were very mean to me.
Okay,
I didn't want you not to go in.
I needed to. Like, I couldn't not go in. If you're gonna mess with them, at least do it after our investigation had finished.
Well, we'd left. I didn't know we had to go back.
I would like 60 gold pieces from you, from your personal pocket.
Fine.
Next time, you can do it
50.
just fine. Okay, 50.
Well,
fine.
actually, wait a minute. I need to check if Lucy actually would. Oh, yeah, no. Lucy's not going to do that. There's a reason.
Has Lucy already taken out the purse, though?
I gave you the 450, and then I put the purse back in.
Okay.
It's after I give in Varric the 1,000.
Okay.
But yeah, he's not paying you back the 60.
Okay.
Because
So I'm assuming.
yeah.
So I'm assuming you're. So I'm assuming you're handing over the 450.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Anything else I can help with?
Maybe some... Of course, are you looking for weapons as well?
Nah, not really my style. Stick with trusty survival knife.
Alright, that's fine. Cool, I think that's it then, my friend. Thanks again for the business.
Always a pleasure. Good luck out there.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, not a bad place after all.
Yeah, that gentleman is a good gentleman. I quite like him as an old soldier himself. It's nice to see someone who's experienced like I have.
Did you mention which war he was in?
I didn't ask, to be honest. Our war is all I know.
Yes. Are you there?
Were you guys talking to me then?
I was, yeah. I was about to say, should we check in on Amanita to see what she's up to? So,
Be just in bed. If anything.
Cool. So Cleo is kind of, knowing Amanita wasn't in the greatest of moods, Cleo's kind of hung back as well. Just to that's some very eerie lighting you've got there.
No, I just got some new eerie different lights for my birthday, so
Cool.
Oh.
So Amanita's Jess having a nap, is she?
Yeah.
I'll probably mention now in in this quick cap. Amanita has there's one bottle by your side of the tent, and it's a boldness elixir.
Boldness?
Boldness, yeah.
Cool. So I assume that gives her a little bit more, is it charisma boost or something?
Oh no, it's a combat enhancement. It's a pretty good one, so.
Cool. So, after a while, Cleo just... Amanita. I just want to see if you're okay.
I feel a little bit better now.
Good. The others, they have gone to do a bit of shopping, but I just wanted to make sure that you were okay, so I just hung back to just make sure that yesterday's business did not upset you too much.
No, it is fine. I just need to rest, that's all.
Okay. Well, it doesn't feel as though there is much business for us to get up to at this point in time, so now is probably a good time to rest. If you need to talk, I will be nearby.
And she pretty much falls asleep again. Oh, bless her.
So, let's return to the other group then. What are we up to?
Right, staff. I forget, did she request an enchanted one?
She just needed one to use as a shillelagh.
Well, your guess is as good as mine. Let's hit the markets.
There is that magic shop you could go to.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind visiting there.
I would.
There's a specific set of things that would be handy if they have it.
Actually, like a ingredients shop or a library? Are you talking about?
No, I was looking more for items of a magical nature.
The gentleman that we're going to go see is he's an enchanter of sorts. He's a bit of a magic man, like everyone in this town is, but he takes it to a different level. So he's got a certain items of magical variety for sale, but he's a character, to say the least.
I'm pretty used to dealing with characters. So, let's head down there.
Sure.
So, you head across the market square and you see this building with golden lettering written across the top of Wondrous Wares. Who's going in first? Who's going in?
Of course, I'll let you be the first one to go in. No, unless Luci wants to go.
That's right. We'll step in through the door.
Okay. Lucy's going in.
Alright, then of course we'll hold on the step and let Lucy step in first.
I will say this was a session I missed. So let's see what happens.
So, you walk in. As soon as you open the door, you can hear this massive rumble of thunder. you find yourself stood in a relatively empty room with a number of side tables and kind of little screens, like a viewing area. You get the impression that this is quite an exclusive place. Suddenly there is a burst of blue smoke, and a man is stood there with a blonde bob in rather puffy blue outfit with a purple cloak. Hello! Welcome to Wondrous Wares.
That is an entrance, and what a magnificent cloak. Oh, hello.
Well, thank you. Thank you indeed.
I hear you sell magical things. I was wondering...
I do indeed.
Do you have any sending stones in stock? Or even the ability to cast sending?
I may have particular items that may be of interest to you.
Oh,
let me see.
I'm sorry, your cloak is fabulous. Where did you get it?
Well, that would be telling, wouldn't it? It's a magical item I have procured from my suppliers. You see, very well. You see, I, as proprietor of a shop of magical antiquities, should only be one to endorse my products. And as I have some fairly exclusive items, these particular items are indeed special. Now, about your sending stones. Let me see what we have. Do you have any particular preference or style, my good friend?
Oh no, dealer's choice. I leave that up to the expert.
Okay. So, red. What is your particular... What sort of individual will have... Do you think?
It could... Well, one of my party, anyway.
One of your party?
It might be multiple of them. At different times, might be using the stone.
Okay, so you want something relatively generic.
Yes.
Well,
if possible, I would like if you're needing a theme, and he'll just indicate to himself.
Well, like I could potentially do, and he kind of waves his hand a little bit and comes out with this kind of white stone, which is like marble type of like polished stone, but it's got gold flecks in it. Well, for a fine individual like yourself, with, I must admit, quite a fine cloak.
Oh, you do.
Perhaps one of these. Perhaps a pair of these, and he hands you the one. Would that be to your likings?
I think it would.
This particular brand of sending stones, because of the rather unique design, comes at a bit of a premium. So there will be about, let me see, 200 gold pieces.
Lucy doesn't bat an eye.
Would that be of interest to you, sir?
It would. I do have a question for you, though. I know I've known of sending stones that it's just a pair. Have you ever had a set that could talk amongst themselves? More than just two?
Talk amongst themselves? You mean some sort of...
Sorry, the sound cut out for me when you said sort of.
Sort of sentient, like
No,
that-
more that it's just not one stone and another stone, but maybe 4 or 5.
I believe what he's asking for is a dual band sending stone.
I thought he was more talking about sending stone. Perhaps one that could do individual calls to individual stones, but then also call all the stones at once. Am I right in that?
Perhaps there's a router that could be used for it. Like a central stone that bounces the signal between all the different ones.
Yes, I would imagine one of that. I imagine there would be a keystone in amongst there somewhere. And that router would be within the keystone, but the keystone would be one of the sending stones itself.
Yes.
So probably one larger one with a couple of pebble-sized ones. I do have something along those lines, sir.
Oh, yes?
Yes, but their rarity is much greater.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be talking in the realms of 2,000 gold.
Right.
I mean, this is why we brought Varric's share in the 8,000 gold piece. He says suggestively.
That money forward. I need that.
What about trade? Will you take any trade along with some coin?
I trade in magical items. What are you thinking?
What about items that could be magical?
Could be magical.
You mean
Not
that particular item has not been identified yet?
Well, that particular item hasn't been enchanted yet, but it could be.
You mean, for example, a longsword that I could enchant into being a enchanted longsword.
Exactly, profit right there. You
Yes,
get the item cheap, and then you enchant it yourself, sell it for a profit.
yes, but you see, I already have smiths that work for me that would deliver said items. What particular type of item am I thinking of? If it was, then I could potentially.
Sorry, if it was what? Sorry, my hearing went a little funny there. If it was what? Sorry.
Specifically unique, especially
Well,
unique.
I was thinking it's a high end.
Okay.
You have some very expensive armor.
Okay.
Full
Let me
plate.
have a look. Which particular armor are you thinking of?
Well, I have a spare set of full plate armor.
I'm sorry, my friend. You'd have to provide an item much more impressive than that for me to even consider doing a trade.
Well, fair enough. Maybe what I could do is... How many sets of sending stones do you have?
How many individual sets of sending stone?
Yeah.
They're fairly commonplace. I would say 15, 20, something in that region. Different. Of the two-way ones.
Okay.
Of the multi-way ones, which I described to you, I have 2 sets.
Right, okay. If you give me 1 second, I'll just want to speak to my colleague here. For 2 minutes. It'll turn to the other 2. Right. So we could afford it with the money that Korsk found. It might be handy if we ever get split up. Or we could just buy individual sets and it'll be like 3-way calls the whole time. Let's think.
What was the price again?
2,000 for this sort of multi-sending stone, and 200 each, I think, for the just pairs.
Did you try to haggle him at all?
I haven't yet.
Because it sounds like you might be being taken for a ride, regardless of the value of this.
But I wanted to check first if we were interested in the more expensive item.
Yes, the more expensive item does sound like the way to go in the end.
Okay. And we'll...
If he's trying to hoodwink us, I can always run a quick check on it.
Maybe you should stand next to me then, just in case.
So Wayne, how would it work to run a sort of an just to identify the item to check it as advertised?
Have you got an identify spell?
Yeah. So this would be a spell slot cast of it.
Yeah. So you would need. How long does spell take to take to cast? That's how long it would take.
Ooh, 1 minute.
Yeah. So I'm sure he would let you examine it for a period of time.
Okay, cool. Then I'll, as Korsky and Luci walk up to the counter, of course rolling away the brochure he'd been reading in the meantime. He'll take out his tools and then just do a couple of quick checks, like with a magic magnifying glass, stuff like that.
Cool.
Testing the inner workings of the flow of magic.
So he's brought out this separate thing. It's not quite in the style of the other one. It's like it's like blackest of black with a few silver flecks every now and again. And it's like a big stone, like one of the big paperweight things you can get, and like 3 little pebbles. So it's 4-way actually. He gives you the main one and one of the pebbles and keeps 2 of the pebbles back for you to examine. As far as you can tell, it is what he claims it to be.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. So, shall we talk about the price again, sir?
So, I said 2,000 gold pieces for the item. Of course, if you're willing to buy multiple items, then perhaps I may be bulk deal, perhaps. That is, of course, if there was anything else you gentlemen were looking for.
Indeed, we were. Just to double check before I say something stupid. This is the place we went to look for the staff, wasn't it?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think it is. That's why I would say we could go to find the staff anyway.
So one of our members requires a. Sorry, I'm having a brain lag from the last session. An enchanted staff to assist her with her magic.
Okay, is there any particular enchantment you are looking for?
I think the kind that facilitates casting of spells would be most appropriate.
Okay, so something that you could use as an arcane focus, but also may have some form of magical ability?
Yes, something along those lines.
Okay.
Something like these tools, you know what I mean? The ones that give bonus to.
And what about the individual? What sort of individual are they?
So she's one of the. She's a fairly mystical individual, but my understanding is that her magic is based mainly on natural sources.
So, a druid.
She can transform. I believe.
She can transform.
Yeah. Would like something.
And is she an elf? A halfling?
No. A fairy.
I nudge Course and kind of whisper in, "That's not public knowledge."
Curious. And what particular size this individual? Like, I must apologise. Such an individual.
A full
You're
size-
making a staff for this lady. You're not You don't need to. This isn't like crafting a piece of armor, surely.
Well, let's just say the balance is quite important, and the size of the individual will be relatively important in that. For example, if I gave a Goliath a 8th staff, then it would be like a toothpick.
How about a staff that can change size with its owner?
How useful would that be?
I have something along those lines. The individual would have to be more.
But can it then get big? On command?
So he opens his hand and there's kind of sparks fly. And in is this kind of probably half-length quarterstaff, so an 8th. And he's kind of... Well, this is its shortest length. It can be used as a weapon. It can be used as... However, if I mutter a particular word at it, and he whispers something to it, this happens. And it turns into a 10-foot pole. It's... how should I put it? I call it the... I call it the 8th staff of reaching. It is effectively a +1 quarterstaff with a 10. So it acts just like a +1 quarterstaff. You whisper the magic word, it turns into this 10-foot staff. So it gives you the reach of 10 foot. However, it is a bit particular length, and so you're more like, or you're less accurate with your swing. So whilst the reach gives you an advantage, and in a melee situation, it also puts you at a bit of a disadvantage when you try and maneuver it. You say the word again, and it shrinks back down to its normal size.
Darren, what do you think? I haven't travelled with Amanita for enough time to really say.
This is a question directly to Jess. What kind of size is Amanita?
She'll definitely be smaller than a dwarf. I would say she would come up to the size of Varric's knee.
Well,
That's like hat with her hat, with her mushroom hat on. It's like it just reaches to his knee.
Cool. Varric is 6'7" for reference. So, I don't know how to do the math to discern how tall.
So the staff as is goes up to about Varric's waist.
Yeah. The dwarves tend to be 5'5", so she'll be somewhere in the 4 numbers, 3 to 4 height.
So maybe not quite Varric's knee, maybe a bit further than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably about 5 foot in length. It'll be about 3.5, 4 foot in length. It's half the length of a quarterstaff. So if you're half the height of a person. It should be about the
I'll
right.
just get my character sheet up and see if they've got the size in there.
I mean, typically, this is a question to Mr. Flashy Pants, the purveyor of the shop.
Hugo Palpas.
Hugo, there we are. Hugo, how tall do your staffs tend to be? Like, if you were to use a staff, how tall would you make yours?
I would generally make it slightly taller than I am, because, how should I put it? You need to be able to, it needs to have a fair amount of reach, and you need to be careful when you swing it around. If you, so it doesn't hit the ground when you swing it, but, generally, I would say, probably for a gentleman your size, I would say about 7.5 would be what I would aim for.
I mean, my one is, can I just have mine to the side? It's like a broken, like, flagpole with, like, a spike on the bottom and a flag wrapped around the top and stuff. It's, like, shoulder length and varg. It's not... I mean, this works fine for me, so I'm not buying one for myself, but, our friend is about 3-4 foot-ish tall, so maybe a 5.5 foot tall staff perhaps would be most beneficial to her.
Yeah, so that effectively, I would make it. It would be the right size for Amanita.
Yeah.
She's 3 feet tall.
Yeah, so it'd be about 4 foot. 3.5, 4 foot.
And this, the extended staff that the guy has is 5 foot minimum, right?
No. I'm saying it would be about 3 or 4 foot.
Right.
Whatever size Amanita needs it to be, it will be.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But you'll be able to extend it to 10 feet and hit people quite a bit
Pretty
away.
good distance.
Yeah. So effectively, the way in which I've done it is it's like a pool of collapsing in reverse.
Mm.
But rather than going down to a rod, it goes down to a half size, or the right size of quarterstaff. So I've called it the F8 staff of reaching. And it says, whilst holding this short staff as a bonus action, you can mutter a magic word to extend the pole to 10 foot. When extended, the staff's weight does not change. Attacks made with it in its extended form have 10 foot reach, but are made with disadvantage. As another bonus action, the staff can be returned to its usual length. You have a +1 bonus to all melee attacks and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. Proficiency with a quarterstaff allows you to add your proficiency bonus to the attack roll for any attack you make with it.
Well, this seems like a mighty good staff. I think it would fit our friend just fine. How much are you looking for this one?
This would be, 1,500 gold pieces. So that would be 3,500 in total. I would probably give you maybe 10% discount on that.
Can you not do it a little more, perhaps? Just a touch more?
What about if we had another couple of sets of sending stones on top of that?
If you gave me 3,500, I would throw in 2 sets of dual sending stones.
Okay.
So 2 lots of 2 pairs plus your conference sending stones
Yes.
plus
So our order currently is the multi-sending stone. If we got this staff with it as well, it would be the staff and 2 pairs of sending stones on top of it.
yes. Although
Before
I would, whilst they may come in useful if you want to talk to third parties, say, please be aware that I wouldn't want to missell to you. So if you have this group of sending stones, the one that costs 2,000 gold pieces, you can call individual people on the stones. Each individual stone has its own magic word. You say your magic word, it goes to those individual stones.
Okay.
If you want to call a group, it's another magic word.
And how many of these smaller stones come with it, or is there a limit on that?
There are, yes, this particular set I believe has 3 plus the bigger one, so that's 4 individual people that can converse.
That's fine. I'd still like the 2 sets. I don't mind contributing.
So you need 2 more sets as well. So that would be 3,500 all in.
Alright, well, I'll put in 500 of the 1,000 I have.
I'll put in. I have on me.
So I would say to Charlie, there is nothing discreet about this individual.
Nothing discreet.
There is nothing discreet about this individual. So if you asked him, your business would be everybody's business. He might not reveal what about, but he would certainly answer in full voice.
Okay. Well, I've asked him, so.
Well, I have heard tell of such an item existing. Unfortunately, I've never had the pleasure to have experienced its ability.
Well, if you do, please let me know.
Oh, very well, sir. I will.
Sorry, I'm just checking my notes to see how much petty cash I have. I can put in 400 for those stones, and I've got another spare. I've got another spare 300, so I can put in 700 total of my own cash.
What about the group money?
So I was going to say group money for the remainder, if we're alright with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic.
3,500 handed over.
That's 500 of mine, 700 Charlie's, and then...
Yeah.
Fantastic. It was lovely doing business with you.
And you as well. Please do keep in mind if you hear anything about that item. And also let us know the words, please, for the stones.
Yeah, so he tells you what they are. You can personalize the words. You just need to you need to say, and it gives you a passphrase for the whole thing. You need to say that followed by your password, followed by your new password, your new phrase. You can. Unfortunately, some of the words at the moment are a little bit obscure, but they are in a strange dialect.
Right.
It's probably the origin of the stones themselves. Please remember. if you're looking for items and want to catch your enemies unawares,
I'm already heading at the door.
then remember to consider buying wondrous wares.
Will do. It's been a pleasure. Wayne, at some point, could you send me what the passphrase and stuff is, or can it?
You just make it up, mate.
Okay, cool. We can change it. Lovely.
So when Korsk steps outside the shop, he's still going through the brochure a little bit, just looking very skeptically at the items. But then he'll turn to Varric and say, "So when was Amanita's identity a secret exactly?"
Just because she doesn't want to be found necessarily.
As in she's on the run from someone, or?
Nah. I mean, I'm not at liberty to tell her story on her behalf, but she's trying to keep safe, essentially. And
you think that will be hard to achieve in Catan, that she flew Human City?
yeah. I mean, she's commonly going around in her current form, shall we say, which isn't the problem. She can do that if she wants. Just in terms of announcing directly what she is, I think might be better to be a bit on the discreet side.
Very well, very well. Incidentally, what direction did you come from when you entered this fantastic province here?
I don't remember. Luci, do you remember which direction we came from?
Nope. I also wasn't here that session, so I don't know.
It's like, well, you must remember something.
We should collect the bounty.
Oh, we should collect the bounty. That's a good idea. That gives us some more money.
Were you drinking out of my satchel last night?
Don't give him the idea, of course. It's not worth it.
Should I?
Alright, I guess I'll just keep this baby monitor on hand in case of trouble.
But anyway, we've now got sending stones, so if we do get separated, we can talk.
But we have actual sending stones.
Yeah.
And then we have the multi-call sending stone thing.
Well, we've got the multi-call thing, yeah. So we can talk to each other anytime. It's great.
But we have the multi-call and then 2 pairs of actual sending stones as well.
Well, Lucy paid for that.
What, the pair or the group?
The 2 pairs.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. You can have
Just
them.
just in case.
Okay.
It's in case so it wasn't from the group fund.
Yeah.
Just so we didn't want to take too much out of it.
That's fine. That's fine. Do you want to hand out that group sending stone thing? We could have one.
Yeah, I'll give them to you. Give them to you guys, and we'll give Amanita hers when we get back.
Oh, so you pay the most money for it. So I would say you get the big stone.
No, not for the. Well, a little bit, but okay.
That's fine. I don't mind. I'd much prefer to have this little one.
Just don't lose it.
I won't. Trust me. It's going to go in the pocket with the hole in it, so I'll make sure I can remember where it is.
Okay.
Before I forget, let me have a look at that staff. And he reaches out preemptively.
Hand over.
Okay. Are we going to get like maybe 15 minutes or so as we go around the market and just check out what's there?
I have no objection. I think we would take the 15 minutes to...
Yeah. Let me make a roll.
And are we gonna...
Okay,
Ooh.
so... After that 15 minutes have passed, you come back and Korsk has just finished making the last carving in. And it's this, you know, like the Bayou tapestry? It's basically that with wild animals and grapevines, different kinds of ivy, all kind of intertwining themselves all the way down the staff.
Cool.
Fancy.
Personalised it.
Should we get Amanita before we go get the bounty, or...?
Yeah, let's do that. I think it'd be better to... She can have our new staff as well. That Korsk is so nicely done up for her. It looks
And
great.
I'll be damned if she isn't pleased with this. Finest work yet. Oh yeah, and would this be a good moment to get that religion roll, Wayne, do you think?
Religion roll?
Yeah, since it's based on what he's got on his shield.
Okay.
Everyone else, and Jess, when we meet up again, make a religion roll.
I got 10.
I got 10!
So it looks familiar. It's certainly religious and nature themed, but you can't quite place what the name is just yet. It's very familiar.
That's kind of where I would be with it. At a 10.
Yeah, sorry
It's
if it lands my own hands a little
roll.
bit.
Is this the design on your shield, did you say, Sam?
Yeah, it's very similar themed. And is that roughly the same, do you think, Wayne?
No, that's not enough. Is what I would say.
So we're going to go get Amanita now then, I guess? Give her new staff and take her to the bounty office.
Q.
So,
Our store, our staff, and all our lovely gifts. That should get her out of her mood, hopefully. She didn't seem too happy.
you make your way back across the North Dock, the West Dock, so on and so forth. You aren't aware of anybody following you. You make your way through the refugee camp, and there you are welcomed by the dink, dink, dink of Dunley's hammer, still hammering away. He must have like one arm twice the size of the other. The amount of hammering he does. And you get back to find Cleo sat quietly by the furnace, and Amanita's still having a snooze. So what would you like to do?
Hey Cleo, have you seen Amanita anywhere?
He indicates to the she wanted to have a bit of a sleep. I think she had a late evening.
Luci will run up to the door and start going, Amanita!
Or we could do...
I'm assuming you were tapping on yourself, given it's a cloth tent.
Yeah. No, you're just punching the cloth.
Amanita will like sit bulk up and go, and like look, and then literally open the tank.
Oh, Lucy, it's you.
We went shopping!
Oh, what did you get?
Well, first off, we all got one of these so that we can all talk to each other.
Oh,
You'll hand Amanita a wee pebble sending stone.
Like looking at it, but before she does take it from you, she like does a big stretch and yawn, and then literally takes it and just like, looks at it.
And then Kors found this thing in the shop, and him and Varric thought it might be good. And then they did a thing to it, so they've got a gift for you.
Yes. I understand that we haven't quite seen eye to eye since I came to this group, Amanita, but I was hoping that this would guarantee that I show no ill will towards you, Varric, or Luci. Yeah. And it's as described, but he's managed to he's used some kind of fluid to shine up the inscription, but it's clearly nature themed and pretty unique. It's not something that is definitely nothing you would see produced in Catan.
She'll kind of like flutter her wings like up and like flying over you, just like looking at this staff in your hand, just like looking over.
Oh,
She'll kind of like lean down as well, not touching it as of yet, but just like looking, and she like touches it, and she then places her hands on it and takes it out of your hands.
nice. Pretty.
Indeed. My cousin taught me how to make these inscriptions from when I was quite young.
You're very good.
Thank you. Most of that skill, I would say, is down to him, though. I can only hope it helps to light your way.
That's very kind of you.
Lucy will start nudging forward and go, tell her about the thing! Tell her about the thing!
Which part in particular?
The word! Tell her about the word.
Okay, I am genuinely lost as a player right now. Is this the sending stone word?
No, the thing that you whisper to the staff to make it...
Okay, yeah. Forgot about that bit. Oh yeah, so there's a couple of properties on that. Perhaps we could have done that, so let's say, and he'll say the word.
You can choose
assuming-
what the word is, Jess.
Should probably just say magic mushrooms.
So you say magic mushrooms, and this staff just goes, and as it does, the design that Course put on it almost comes to life, and you see the kind of like there's like a horse at the bottom of it, and it keeps like running around as it goes down, but running. More and more stuff is being created along the length of it as it's kind of running down, then kind of you end up with the horse's head kind of at the end, and you now have a 10-foot pole in your hand.
She's like, because she'll be holding it up as well. She's like,
Oh, that is very tall.
and try not to rip the tent either.
There's one of two things were going to happen. The tent was going to raise a little bit, or it was going to have 2 new windows.
No, the tent is off the pegs and on the end of the pole now.
We've made an umbrella.
It's a very bad umbrella.
Oh, should be that.
How do I get it back? I can't hold it that for very long.
Lucy, do you remember? Was it the same word?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just saying the same word again.
She was doing that. Go,
Oh, magic mushrooms.
and it all.
And it all kind of the pattern just kind of all blends back into itself. The horse kind of stays where it is, but everything kind of just kind of disappears into it, and then you just end up with like there's a horse near the top that had came out of it, and the backside of that horse just joins the horse so it just looks like the horse again, but it's just
Panto horse.
yeah. So everything just kind of blended into the front end of this horse until the backside effectively caught up with it. And
Very
that's that.
nice.
Cool. So for now, just treat it as a +1 quarterstaff, and if you can use 10-foot reach on it, but if you do use the 10-foot reach, you've got disadvantage.
Yeah.
Is it an arcane focus as well?
And you can use it as an arcane focus as well.
The one thing we went to buy it, it's like doesn't even have that on it. It's just like, oh no.
I'm assuming you can use a normal quarterstaff you can use as an arcane focus as well. I think it's
Yeah.
it's just the same. It's just an item that's special to you. You can use to focus your energies.
And then Lucy will say, "Oh yeah, we were going to go to the bounty office. If you want to come with us."
Okay. I feel well rested now. I needed that.
Okay. I suggest we go to the bounty office, and then I think the other matter of business was to visit the Wizards College. Is that right, Kosk?
Indeed. I need to finish up some business there before we move on to our contact.
Fantastic.
Okie dokie.
So you head over to the Emperor's Barracks. Could you all do a perception check, please, for the journey?
So,
See, when Lucy doesn't have to concentrate on breathing, he can see things. Is it enough?
So every now and again, you think you see somebody following you, but then it always turns out to be something innocent. So you're going down a quiet road, you can hear some footsteps, but it ended up being a man walking his dog. You're going down a back alley and you see a flash of a shadow in front of you, but it ended up being a lady kind of bending over to pick up a washing basket and hang her washing out.
I think we should work on the wording there, Wayne, of flashing and lady bending over. That's...
I'd like for the record that Charlie said that and nobody else.
I just remember the washing lady from the video.
Yeah. Mm.
The video which we have now taken down. So we moved on a little bit after that, and you come to the Emperor's Barracks. It's probably 11 o'clock in the morning. Last time you were there was quite a queue at the bounty office. Because it's reasonably early in the day, that queue's not really there. You walk up with your bounty, walk up to the old man at the desk in the office. Can I help you?
We've got some bounties to collect.
Oh, fantastic. Have you got the evidence?
Mm-hmm. Reach down the pants, fill out the 2 heads, put them on the table.
Oh. Brown hoods. Very well. And he looks at one of the guards and signals. And they disappear. Right, so the reward on these, I think for Cynthia it was 12,000 gold, and for Andre it was 8,000 gold.
Is that what it says on these things? I can't remember the posters.
There's no bounty listed.
Is he telling the truth?
Just said weren't wanted. Do a insight roll.
I mean, that's good money. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't think of any reason why he would lie.
Good.
So he starts counting your money out. It seems to be taking his time, and after a while, Kuma walks in. Oh, huh. You guys are busy, aren't you? Brownhoods, was it? Shame you didn't get all three.
Whisper and go, who's that?
That's Sergeant Coomer. We helped him with that investigation.
Oh yeah, the guard guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see you, Sergeant. We gotta keep busy. Got a lot of work to get done, and I dare say that we've dealt with these two. The third one might be coming along, soon enough.
Well, I guess if he knows what's good for him, he'll be turning me out of town like he did out of Westlands, from what I understand from my contacts over there.
Well, we'll see. What's his bounty? Just wondering.
20,000.
I think we might have a bit of hunting to do, Luci.
Maybe.
But he's a considerable foe. Many people have tried to capture him so far, but you've got this far, I guess. But just be wary. In fact, he'll know that who his wife and son were after.
Speaking of, why were they?
We'll have a target. Sorry?
I was just while you're saying that, Lucy will turn and go. Why were they after us?
I think they were in. I kind of lean over and whisper in Lucy's ear. I think they were after us because of coin screw, but that's just my guess.
Maybe.
But they've gone after you and not come home. Your inn will know. His first avenue of inquiry will be to come to you. Just watch your back. That's if he hasn't decided to hightail it and run, which is in his character. He'll probably weigh up the odds and consider what his best route is.
I mean, if he was good at his job, he'd be able to take us out no problem. But, I mean, it is how it goes, I would say.
In any case, one would hope his opportunities would be limited, given our agenda.
Indeed.
Lucy, can I also get my share of the bounty? I think it should be about 4,000 pieces each. If I did the maths correctly, it's a big number for myself.
They're not 5?
Well, no, because there's 5 of us. There's myself, yourself, there's Korsk, there's Amanita, now there's Cleo as well.
Sorry, I forget about Cleo a lot.
Yes, I have no need for money. You keep your wealth. After all, it was you they were hunting. I was just there to lend a small hand.
5,000 each is.
If you're sure, Cleo, I don't mind, but,
Varric, you asked them once. If you tell them again, you give them a chance to change their mind.
If I find myself in need of money, then I'm sure you will remember that I have more than paid my way in terms of reward, I guess.
Yeah, fair.
Of course, Amanita, do you want your share as well just now?
No, it's okay. You got me a good staff and stuff, so I should really put it in with everyone else's coin.
I'm not going to be spending in the near future. Besides, I have that 300 that we split aside from the main purse.
No worries. I'll just put it in here. Lucy does have an idea for maybe rooting out the last brown hood. Do you think he would try and rescue his comrades? Like, say, if one of them were to be captured and paraded through town?
I would hazard a guess. He may. Should the bodies not have already been found by the Assassin's Guild?
Better yet, why not add a second to that mix?
We did burn the bodies pretty well.
It would be a powerful temptation.
Lucy will hand Korsk and Varric some rope and then turn into Mrs. Brownhood with his arms behind his back.
Korsk will not take the rope. Instead, he will take out a potion, pop the top off, and chug it. And then it takes maybe 30 seconds, but his body grows upwards, and it looks very much like the son of these two.
Great. Wow, that's quite the potion, Korsk. And
Fresh brew this morning. Got to find a use for it.
sure. Amanita, can you give me a hand tying these two up, please?
Not too tight, though.
Okay.
Never thought I'd hear that. But
You lot are fucking suicidal.
Money's money, and 20 G's is a lot of money.
Yeah. Just remember, pretty much every bounty hunter in the city sees them in a vulnerable position. They'll be looking to wipe them out, and anybody that gets in their way. Just think carefully before you execute your plan.
That's a good point, actually. What I'll do, Lucy and Korsk, is I'll loosen the ropes so you can get out easily. And if anything happens, I'm sure you could drop your forms and be like, look, we're just trying to lure them out, or something.
Lucy rolled a 1, so what could go wrong?
Oh, God.
much appreciated. I'm sure we can find some alley to disappear down in the event things go awry.
And Lucy will from now on be using thaumaturgy to project his voice as Mrs. Brownhood's, from what he remembers.
Okay. Right. Here's your reward. Now, take your shenanigans out the barracks.
Of course. Have a good day, Sergeant.
And you. I just hope I don't see your body later on. Cleo heads out the door. Come on. Let's see if your honey trap works. So,
I'll be at the front of the pack pulling Lucy and Korsk along if Amity wants to go to the back with Cleo, perhaps.
okay. So, let's see how this works. So, where you taking the two reprobates?
Probably through the market square, I guess, would be the place to go. There's a lot of people there.
I will be struggling the whole way.
Corsk will quietly sit with the ropes, but he's testing their looseness in the event we need to get free fast.
So you head into the market square, or you head through the gates of the barracks with your captives. That gate leads onto a fairly main road which leads straight to the market square. By the time you're halfway down that road, you see people running to deliver messages. You make your way into the market square. Past the notice board, which now no longer has the two posters on it. And you see a number of people staring in the group's direction, fondling the hilts of their swords and daggers. In the middle of the market square there is a fountain. As you're walking past the fountain, an arrow sails past Luci's head and hits the statue of the fountain before plopping into the water. It's now floating at the top of the water. You look in. Could you do a perception check, please?
Is that just Lucy or is that everyone?
Everybody.
Uh-oh.
So Korsk and Amanita, you look in the direction from where the Korsk, Amanita and Varek, you look in the direction from where the arrow came, and you see an elf dressed in leather, brown leather. You initially think it's Brown Hood, but you realise it's just another bounty hunter holding a bow drawn, arrow nocked. He looses another arrow towards Lucy. Which again falls wide. He starts walking towards you.
I kind of step in between him and Lucy. Kind of just kind of like body blocking almost.
Could you all do a perception check, please? So, Lucy, Amanita, and Varek, you notice a crossbow bolt come flying through the air. Varek, you knock Lucy slightly out the way, and you can just hear it as it ricochets off the edge of his armour. You look down and you see the crossbow bolt there in a pool of what looks like poison on the ground. Can you do another perception check, please? Okay. Another arrow whips from the elf. Just misses again, this time very narrowly, almost clipping one of Lucy's horns. As you duck out of the way, Amanita and Varric notice a group of people heading out of the Silver Steel Inn, swords drawn. 20 to 30 of them heading towards you. They're about 100 meters away.
So I'm gonna venture a guess that the plan didn't work. So I think this is time for emergency measures. Course is going to, on seeing the group of 20 come towards them, and not aware if he can get rid of his disguise and Lucy's disguise in time, he's going to reach into his satchel, probably breaks the illusion, and pulls out what looks like a, I think I described it before, it's a organ writhing with psionic energies, and it's suspended in this kind of pyramidal structure. And he turns a few knobs on it, and then gestures towards one of the rooftops. And he and Lucy dematerialize in a purple flash, and then two rays streak towards the rooftop.
What is...
So that will be 2 vortex warps.
Okay.
I'm assuming Lucy's not going to resist like Zerif did. Please don't.
They'll stay in disguise though, tied up.
Mm-hmm. Well, then when we're on the rooftop, Course will then free his hands.
Lucy's
Seeing them just like disappear, Ebony just starts panicking. Like, where could have gone?
Yep, we gotta go get them. We need to. Can you fly?
Of course I can.
No, great. I'm grabbing Cleo, and I kind of pick up Cleo and cast flying and immediately leave.
So it takes about 20 seconds, like 18 seconds, before the people in the market square start to realise where Andre and Cynthia disappeared too. They think Andre seems to have changed seemed to have disguised himself into some strange beast before disappearing. However, eventually there's a shout of, "They're on the roof! Over there!" And the arrows begin to start whizzing towards you. First one misses. The second one just kind of bobbles along the tiles by Korsk's feet. Third one sails widely of Lucy's head. The fourth one just lands shy of Korsk.
Okay, so Korsk will free himself, and I assume Lucy is struggling with the ropes, so he'll stop to give him a hand and get out of that. And then he'll say, "Lucy, the sending stones, now's as good a time as any to try them. While you're doing that, I'll get us the way down."
I'll try them out, still in Cynthia's voice. Whatever her name was. Hello, dearies, can you hear me? Whatever it was. Lucy can't remember.
Is it a group call, or are you doing it like individually to someone?
Oh, group call.
I don't know if I like these sending stones anymore, Lucy. I'm not gonna lie. Looks like we got a spot of bother. I'm flying with Amanita here, and I've got Cleo in my arms.
I've got a couple of jumps left in me. We could always try and head back to the refugee camp.
Yeah, can you drop the disguise, the phone?
Why?
Because I don't want to be bringing people back to where we're staying at the minute.
If we can lose the alleyways.
Lucy thinks at this point, they didn't believe that Korsk wasn't the guy after he changed back. They're not going to believe that I'm not when I change back. So I think we just have to disappear.
Where are you guys?
We're on a roof somewhere.
Because I can recreate a massive fog. You could disappear in the fog.
Yeah, go for that.
That would be perfect.
I just need to know where you are.
See where they're shooting all the arrows?
She kind of like looks around and then sees.
Oh, I see you.
Good. Well, let me know when's good. And Korsk, you might want to hold on.
Will do.
Right.
Okay.
She'll just create like a small, like fog, like a great big fog cloud.
And in Cynthia's voice, once the fog's there, she'll shout, "You'll never take us alive!" And then you'll just hear a thunderclap.
Are you casting Thunderwave, are you?
No.
Yep.
Thunderstep. Yep. So anyone within 10 feet. I don't know if anyone is. Is anyone within 10 feet? Lovely. Then Korsk and I are now 90 feet away.
Teleport a random mercenary as well.
You end up 3 streets further towards the barracks.
And then
a whole load of piles come flying off the roof, showering the people below. Unfortunately, not the people that are shooting at you. Secondly, again, are you changing direction? Straight as narrow.
we're probably just heading to as close to the refugee camp.
So you head towards barracks and then you take a turn south. So it appears as though there's 2 explosions in a line, if you know what I mean, towards the barracks. So it sounds as though you're heading towards the barracks. In fact, the second one has moved you towards the south. So you can hear a few streets away people heading towards the barracks in search of you. What are you doing?
If we can lose them here, then we can go to ground in the Wizards College.
Yeah, I've dropped the disguise now.
Okay. Could you do... well, are you sneaking or not?
Well, if Korsk goes ahead, then he can lead the way. Yeah.
I'll follow Korsk. Yeah.
Before that, though, he'll rub his ring, regain a level 2 spell slot,
Okay.
and pop another potion, which is this, and it will be Dex.
Cool. So, could you do a stealth check, please?
Both of us, I'm guessing.
Korsk is just going ahead to make sure the way is clear.
Lucy will be following you. Probably not great.
So you're both sneaky. You manage to circumnavigate your way around the main pack of people that are searching for you. So Varric, Amanita, what are you doing at this point?
Well, I'm guessing we're going to head towards where they said they would meet us.
Yeah.
Fine. So you're all heading towards Wizards College, I would assume. Cool.
I'm still flying. I don't know if Amanita is, but
Yeah, she will be.
So we're just
She'll have her cape over, like on her as well, so no one can see.
So thanks to the fog, you've managed to evade them. By the time you get to the industrial sector, you can see Korsk and Luci sneaking from building to building. You're fairly confident there's nobody else around looking for them. But you can still see them below. Cleo asks you to let him down to the ground. You meet up with the other two. And you start heading through the industrial sector to the Wizards College. It is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. You head into this southwestern square building. It's a reasonably tall tower. So the library is in the middle. This big building is the library. And each of the buildings around it are a separate college. The particular building you are heading into, or Korsk is leading you into, is quite dark stone, gothic looking. Gargoyles on the outside. There's moss. As you get closer, you notice that there's moss growing up the outside, and it gives the almost a green hue to the stonework, the brickwork. You head inside, and Korsk leads you down a number of dimly lit corridors. There's a odd smell about the air. Could you all do a intelligence check, please, I guess? Apart from Korsk. Sorry.
Oh.
You know what it is. You know what it is. Amanita?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find. Oh, there we go. See if it would roll. Come on. There we go.
Varric, you notice the smell is formaldehyde. Chemical used for preserving dead things.
It smells like the stuff they used to keep dead things from rotting around here. What's kind of gross?
Does it work on food?
No, I would not do that.
I wouldn't eat it, Lucy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I always have food rotten.
Well, the last incident was crazy enough as it is. We don't need any chemical encouragement for you. Well, there's several experiments currently active in the college. Several which require preserving the tissues of various organisms found in the wilds of Catan. Believe me, the formaldehyde is not as bad as the last time one of them got loose. Needed a couple for body preservation as well.
You lead the group to a big black door. Double doors. You open the doors to reveal a staircase. Again, everything's dimly lit. And
I'd say Amanita's probably like slightly reluctant to go after hearing all this. Just like holding on to Varric's like cloak and just like kind of step it as they take 2 steps forward. She takes 2 steps back and then 1 step forward.
You head down the staircase slowly, given Amanita's reluctance. Pardon me. Eventually, he leads you to a set of mahogany doors. You open one of the 2 doors, walk in. You see a room that is made of green brickwork. There's there's a blue glow in the room. It's a bit brighter than the rest of the rooms because of the glow. And it's all blue runes around the outside walls.
Are they recognizable? Do they look like the elf runes or anything? Okay.
No, do a history check.
Being a sorcerer, would I recognize the runes at all?
They're arcane. Arcane. No.
I'd say there's maybe one of the runes that is repeated a few times is embroidered onto the shoulder of Korsk's coat.
You see an array of tables in front of you stacked with equipment. Looks like a chemistry lab in a way. Flasks, bookshelves here and there. Korsk navigates his way through. And you hear a thud, thud, thud. Footsteps. Korsk just kind of doesn't really bat an eyelid. As you see this rather large, hulking figure appear in front of you. Thud, thud, thud. You smell the strong formaldehyde smell coming from him. He looks deathly pale, as though dead. You reminded a little bit of the gentleman, the mortician you found in the barracks when you were going to find out what happened to Acro Greenhammer. After a while, you see this familiar figure, green skin, dark hair tied back, strand of hair hanging down her face that she keeps moving out of her eyes. And then you see this look of recognition on her face as you approach. Smiles her yellow-fanged smile. Korsk! Back!
Master Sybil, pleasure, as always.
Did you find where they keep going?
Indeed I did. And happened on a couple of friends on the way back. You know how it is.
Ah. Excellent. Now, good. There's a slice of that cake you like in the cupboard over there. Why don't you help yourself while I can catch up with my friends here?
You should have. And he makes his way over there straight away.
Oh, he's a darling, that one. Now, Basil, tea! And this hulking figure. You hear him put a pan on and light a little fire in this like stove thing. Pouring water in, everything's very slowly and... Ah. Well, my friends, it is certainly good to see you again. Less eerie surroundings. I must admit, our Baron Erin definitely helped with my research. I'm heading back out there in a few days to see if I can make a number of experiments on him to see how he reacts to certain external bodies in his bloodstream. All with his permission, of course.
I'm surprised he gave you his permission to do that to him. Yeah.
Well, you see, he's quite eager to do away with the bloodsmiths. He obviously wants to find something that will harm them, and if that means a little pain on his side, he's more than willing. We're only introducing minuscule amounts of these things, of course. Now, I have something of interest for you. The rumor is the Sorcerer's Circle outside in the mountains, probably where you met our friend Korsk. It is rumored to be a significant find. However, when the Wizards College have asked about the find, the Sorcerer's Circle has simply said they've found a robe with no magical ability. The College Council do not believe them, and I have been tasked in uncovering uncovering what this item is. Now, our friend Mr. Korsk has uncovered the location. I believe you mentioning you were after similar artifacts. Perhaps if you could investigate the location, with Korsk, of course, as your guide, we may be able to come to some arrangement around the item that you find. As far as the Wizards Council is concerned, they just don't want things that could potentially give the Sorcerer's Circle an upper hand in their possession.
So really, you just don't want them to have it?
I did not mention my personal opinion.
The royal...
I just mentioned... Sorry?
The Wizards, I guess I was saying. They just don't want the Sorcerer's Circle to have it.
That would be the case, yes. We believe that there is an agreement in place that any items, any significant find such as this would be shared. regardless of how useful or useless that item, clearly, the Sorcerer's Circle have reneged on that agreement. We therefore think they're up to something which could harm the college. We'd rather that didn't happen. I myself, though, am a little bit busy with my experiments, Baron. I would very much like you to make these inquiries for me, if you don't mind.
In return for...
You will get to keep any items you find.
What do you think, folks? Sounds good to me. What about yous?
Don't mind, but I just want to get out of here.
Korsk. So you know where this robe is, apparently?
Oh, if it's in the location I was checking out before, then yeah, I can take you back.
Okay.
Can I just say, Korsk, your pronunciation has come on remarkably since we met. You're no longer hanging on your S's like you used to do.
All thanks to your assistance, of course, which I'm very thankful for.
Indeed. Proper language should be valued. And he turns to Varric and says, "No offense, Dean."
What? I don't hang on my asses.
I imagine as he gets angrier, it gets worse.
No, I was talking more about... we all know that you like a drink. That
Yeah.
might... You can't help what that does to your speech, can you?
I think I'm pretty composed when I get drunk. Thank
Slightly
you, Mr.
under his
Sybil.
breath, Luci will just say, "Is that why he calls it hair?"
What hair? Lucy, we're not getting into this discussion right now, I swear.
What does this start for?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Apparently scales are hair.
They're not. I don't want that to be the case.
Well, I specialize in necromancy, and please don't hold that against me. It is not quite what you... It holds the key to many healing properties, so please don't think that I'm obsessed with death. Not largely, anyway. But very much so. There's the properties of and behavior of scales are very much like condensed air.
Sybil, I understand that this is probably the first time we've seen you in a long while. That is not, I'm not listening to that, essentially, is what I'm trying to say here. Korsk, would you say your scales are hair?
I mean, it's not exactly my area of expertise. I only know what other people have written on the subject, which is that they are indeed a form of hair. Whether they perform like hair or whether they have similar structures is yet to be determined. I'm certainly not interested in that particular research myself, though.
Yes, I mean, think about it this way. Your scales don't necessarily have pain directly, so they're like a form of armor. Your hair, if you think about it, and she turns to Lucy and pulls, hurting you. You can only feel at the root. So, for example, if I did this and pulls Lucy's hair again, it hurt. And then she gets a scissor, pulls an individual hair and cuts it. However, that, not at all. So if you have quite a lot of this material condensed in a mesh, like your scales, it becomes quite a robust form of armor.
So you see, Varric, it's fantastic expertise we have here at the college.
I say to Korsk in Draconic, not another word. Not another word.
So, would you care to take a trip to the ruins that the sorcerers have found with our friend Korsk?
Sure. I don't mind at all.
Before you forget again, Sybil, we need to talk more about those books I need to have on loan soon. You promised you would find a way to get hold of them if I carried out this errand.
Yes. I need to pop to the library. Once you're done, I will give you them. In the meantime, and she throws you a little bag. You were after mandrake root. There you go.
Indeed. Seen better quality, but it'll do.
It's all I could steal from the stores, dear. Lucy, could you do a sleight of hand, please? Without her without her realizing, you think you sneak behind her, get your knife out, and as you're reaching round to cut a lock from her hair, she turns round, winks at you, and says, "Well, Lucy, if you wanted a lock of my hair, all you had to do was ask. I'd have gladly parted with it for you." She gives you a bit of a suggestive wink, takes your dagger off you and cuts a bit, and gives you the dagger and the hair back, and a lock of her hair.
Lucy just walks over to the others.
Not again, Sybil.
Wanted to play? I'm just saying I'm happy to play this game.
Lucy will whisper to Varric, "Can I set her on fire?"
Nope. We're friends.
I'm gonna need to whisper.
What you whispering?
She said, "Yeah."
No, Lucy. No.
It's probably a better time than any to bring this up as well, but okay, first question. Has it been more than an hour since we got out of the running away section? Sorry, language failure.
It's been about 40 minutes.
Alright, that's enough. Again, apologies in advance. Korska's been making off with a piece of chemistry equipment and one of her in detail textbooks on anatomy while everyone was talking to her. So I'll roll 2 sleight of hands for that. And because it's 40 minutes, I still benefit from the Cat's Grace from Enhance ability.
Okay.
Wow.
Given her, I would say given Lucy's diverted her attention, I will allow you to have taken the textbook, but when you go to take the piece of chemistry equipment, she's like, Korsk, what have I told you? Be careful with that. You need an element of skill to deal with such things.
Of course. I need to work more on my training, of course.
Yes, indeed. maybe we'll look at that next time, okay?
Never mind, I've used it plenty of my time to myself in private.
So, anyway, are we in agreement?
So we go to this place, we get the whatever's lying there, be it robe or otherwise. We can keep that,
Indeed.
and that's it.
Report back to me and let me know what you found, but that's all I ask.
Alright. Well, I think that's a fair trade. Unless anyone else has any questions. I kind of gesture to the group.
Lucy's just looking around for anything flammable.
There's plenty of flammable stuff around.
Avenita's just like, no, let's just go, let's go.
Well, on that note then, Sybil, I thank you for your time and this quest you have given us. And we shall be back to report our findings to you soon.
Very well. And if Korsk steps out of line, I've found that Carrot works much better than a little nibble here and there. He particularly likes carrot cake.
Okay. Cool. Of course, you're a big fan of Carrot, I see.
Not as fond of Sybil as Sybil when it comes to talking about scales, at least.
So,
We should go before I burn something.
Alright, thanks for your time, Sybil. We'll be on our way now.
very well. Basil? Cancel the tea! And then Korsk leads you back up and out.
She isn't usually this grating.
Well, now I understand your eagerness to find other companions.
Well, a little bit of respect never did anyone any harm.
Well, indeed. I got the impression she treats you like a pet.
Well, I find moments, so to speak, to take advantage of that. Certainly, she doesn't take it as badly when I borrow her chemistry equipment.
Did.
Right, so...
And Amanita, I wouldn't worry so much about the Basils. Well, Sybil certainly treats them like family, so I just listen to whatever she says, and try to play along as much as possible. It makes the whole situation rather more bearable.
Avenita kind of looks at you confused like that.
I know, it sounds bad when you say it like that, but you get used to it, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't think I'll ever get used to undead.
I mean, they were alive once.
Yeah, but if my kinsmen, for example, were brought back to life, I don't think I'd... Yeah, not a fan. Nope.
I sense these weren't necessarily undead, they were more reanimated. They were still under her control. I think they were just... She was using vocals to add a source of entertainment. In a sick way, but in a twisted way, I should say.
And in any event, there is always carrot cake.
Sure, of course. There is always carrot cake.
Could you do a perception check, please, Varric?
Sure. 13.
Okay. Lucy, can you do a stealth check, please?
Den.
So you're stood there, and you are distinctly aware of behind you in the form of a zombified dragonborn.
Oh no, I am so scared of my fallen comrade who has been brought back to life behind me. Whatever shall I do? Ah!
Noticing the sarcasm, Lucy will just stroke the scales and go, hair, and then walk away.
It's a good thing he was reanimated.
Indeed. So, it is early afternoon. What are we wanting to do?
Should we
We
try?
get up.
Yeah, let's get away from this place and head to the refugee camp to get our things so we can go.
So you head out. You head outside, and the first thing you notice is how distinctly fresh the air is compared to inside. You can still kind of feel the formaldehyde, the sense of formaldehyde at the back of your nose. You head out of the Wizard College into the Arcane Abodes and head yourself across the docks back to the refugee camp. Pretty uneventful journey. It's probably about 2:30. So, what would you like to do? You can gather your equipment up and stick it on the back of your cart.
Lucy's going to rest up for an hour.
Okay.
Course will get in as much rest as possible as well.
Emlyn asks, are you going somewhere?
Treasure hunting.
Oh, very well. Well, you coming back?
Well, I hope so.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. So, do you know how long you're going to be?
No.
Okay.
How far
How
away?
long does it take to get there?
Yeah.
So, a couple of days to get into the mountains, and then however long you spend there, I guess.
Say 5 days to a week, maybe?
Okay. If you're not back within a week, then I will send out the search party.
Oh, that's nice of you. Oh, if anyone comes looking for us that's maybe either a gambling wizard or a mute dragonborn, just let them know we'll be back soon. Anyone else, no, don't let them know where we are.
Okay, very good, very well. Very well.
In fact,
Anything else?
if someone does come to ask about us, let us know through this, and I'll give him one of the stones from one of the sets of sending stones,
Okay,
and I'll get that back off you when we're back.
very well. Very well.
You know how to use that, right?
Yes. It's just a standing stone, isn't it?
Yeah, I just want to check.
Have you given me the magic word?
Magic word is... Oh my.
Oh my.
Hey, buddy!
Hello.
Cool. So yeah, if anyone comes asking for us, just let us know.
Okay. Oh my.
I've given you this set that is red stone with green flecks.
Okay. So he puts a shiny stone in his pocket. And I assume you head out once you rested up?
Yeah. Is there anything anyone wants to do?
I think I'm all good.
Cool. So then... World map time. Yes.
Did any of us ever buy a world map? Or are we just...
Nope. You have seen the intelligence level of this group in general. We have not bought a map.
Speak for yourself. And Cleo just gets his scroll out, showing the local area. I have been to these lands before, long time ago, but I am familiar with the general layout of this land, up to a point. Both a point in time and up to a point geographic. So, you set off. You head down the eastern leg of the river into the mountains. Probably getting dark by the time you reach the mountains proper. And you sleep the evening, make a camp. Could you all roll a perception check, please? So, Luci and Amanita, to the very far west, you can hear, on the edge of the wind again, wolf howls.
Oh, they have a bit of a wolf problem out there.
I mean, wolves are quite kind if you get on their right side.
Well, you were here for our experience with... Well, were you here with our experience with the wolves?
No.
I don't think you were.
No.
Oh yeah. Well, the ones we've dealt with, they like crab. But they were also massive and very bitey.
They're probably hungry.
Yeah, I'd say that. Oh, I should clarify, these were werewolves.
Oh, that's
and they were
different
kind
then.
of in that direction there, yeah. Maybe just we should be a bit careful. Is it a full moon tonight?
Can I make a nature check?
Yeah. You're a good week or two after the full moon, by the way. It's just having witnessed the full moon when you encountered the wolves last time.
can I make a nature check to see if there are dire wolves or of the mutant kinds of wolves in the area we're passing through?
Okay. Yep. You know there are wild wolves. Not necessarily dire wolves that you've heard. You know there are wolves in the vicinity. I mean, Luci, well, the remainder of the group will remember they came across the shack. There was a shack in the mountains that had a diary in it which linked back to the Woods Edge werewolves. It was a man who got infected and then managed to infect his wife, who then went back to Woods Edge, who was the werewolf, the chief werewolf they'd discovered there. This man, he said he'd headed deeper into the mountains to protect people. The group then decided to leave well alone.
Well, you say that, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I may have accidentally set his house on fire.
Yeah, you did burn the house down.
Cool. Lucy,
Well,
really
you burnt the shack down, didn't you?
Yeah. Cool.
So you continue to head into the mountains the next day, having had some breakfast. Assume it's just rations. Winding down to probably around this area towards the south mountain. Overnight and 2 days after you've set off, you find yourselves at the location that Korskas took you. It was a bit of a kind of winding journey because I think Korsk was trying to stay away from the sorcerers he was tracking on his way back. He'd been tracking on his way back. So you're right. You know the rough location to get and a way of getting there, but it's a bit around the houses. So you come upon the entrance to that you saw the sorcerers that you tracked disappear into. Outside there are rather a couple of decrepit old sorcerers, red gowns, one with blonde hair, well, blonde going white hair, and the other one with dark grey hair and beard. Both of them have beards. One's quite long beard that's quite shaggy. The other one is more plaited. The blonde one is more plaited. You hear them kind of talking to each other. I don't know. Yes, I think it was 100 years ago. You see, and you just hear random just talking shit, basically, as you approach. And basically it's a hole cut into like a cave entrance cut into the hill. It's quite grassy, it's at the bottom of the valley, and stone around the outside. There have been a number of bushes that have obviously been cut away to reveal this entrance. The two wizards are sat on rocks facing outwards as though they're keeping guard. What would you like to do? They've not seen you yet.
I mean, I could just go for the old hold person spell. I could cast that on them. We could tie them up or something. What are we thinking?
I'll leave this one up to you guys. That is the wise move.
It will be dependent on whether we can silence them quickly enough. Whether they get a chance to call for help. Perhaps a disguise might be more in line with the type of information we're trying to gather here.
If you can tell me what to disguise myself as, I can do that.
The problem with that plan is that I do not know if any old sorcerer can simply walk into this site, or whether they've restricted it.
We could test that out with our friend here, and Luci will just look to Varric.
I am a sorcerer.
Are you registered with the Catalan City Sorcerer's Circle?
I mean, I'm registered with the Dragon's Foot Army, I guess, but I don't know if
Oh, no. Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. They'll throw you out straight away.
Do they have parties normally in here? We could be the entertainment. Or the wait staff. I don't know how fancy these guys are.
I mean, if I cast Hold Person on them, they're not going to be able to scream because they'll be paralyzed, so...
Do you want to do that? I'll have a backup. In case
I suppose if it doesn't work out, there's nothing stopping us from retreating and trying again with something more subtle.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, I'll have my charming personality on standby.
So at this point, you see the grey-haired one going, you must excuse me. I don't know what's up. A damn bladder infection. And he gets up and he wanders behind one of the bushes and he's looking away from you and he's just having a wee. And still having a wee.
Okay.
And still having a wee. That's obviously a problem.
Could the guy...
When you're ready, get hold of the other one.
So I'm holding that one or am I holding the other one?
The other one.
Right.
Preferably both, but I think I can take this one.
I'll do both, just to be safe.
Wise. And of course we'll drink one of his potions. And he will suddenly become significantly faster. But he's, as Varric... before Varric casts the whole person, he's going to try and get as close as possible.
Okay, could you do a stealth check then, please?
Not this time.
You start moving towards the individual. You step on a twig. It echoes loudly. The gentleman who you were approaching is reading a piece of paper and just seems completely engrossed in what he's reading. He has not noticed you.
Okay, rookie mistake, but I think I can save this. Alright. As once Varric casts the whole person, of course he's going to jump up behind him and try to clonk him on the back of the neck with the pommel of his dagger.
Which particular one? The one having a wee or the other one?
The one having the wee.
Okay.
I'll cast, so seeing that Corsk's in position, I'll cast Hold Person on both of them.
Okay, what's the save?
It's a Wisdom 14 save.
First one's a fail. Scored a 6. And the second one scored a 5. And that was 2 for both of them.
Stop just concentrating there, like holding them both in place. Right, course, go.
Yeah. All right. So, do I roll damage on an attack to subdue, basically?
So it'll be a crit. If it hits, it's a critical. So you got advantage.
Right. I'll count this as a use of green flame as well, although it's not going to hit him as hard, basically, because it's a subduing attack.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Is that with an advantage?
Yeah, with advantage.
Oh,
Or is that your damage?
Oh no, that was to hit. I should have rolled twice, so
fine.
I'll just do that now. There we go.
Yeah. You've hit him.
Okay. And it counts as a crit if it's on a paralyzed individual, right?
Yeah, so you double the dice.
Okay, so that's the piercing, and then that's the additional fire. So that's 16, 18, 22.
Okay. He slumps to the ground unconscious.
Well, he'd be unconscious, sitting still. He's still under the impression of hold person.
Yeah, he's paralyzed, so you can still fall.
Oh yeah, he just fall.
You just can't move.
Is anyone dealing with the second guy, or is Course going to do that one as well?
Luci, go knock him out.
Lucy rolled a critical 0. But okay.
This your
his, dagger and stab him through the back of his throat.
okay.
That's how you
so
know
much for
that, right?
diplomacy.
How you know
Okay.
that, right?
Roll to hit
With advantage.
Oh, with
with
an
advantage.
Okay. It's this one, right? That come through.
That's a hit. So you've hit him. So it's an automatic critical.
So it's 9.
Okay. So he stood there and the slumps to the ground. You can just kind of see blood pulsating out of his neck. Unable to move. And you can just kind of hear him gurgling the blood.
At that point,
And then he kind of, the life goes out of him.
I'll turn to the others and then go, I don't think I did that right.
Are you trying to make enemies?
No.
I suggest we...
Hide. Yeah, hide them.
Okay, we'll move the body, but I'll take the red cloak off him. And I might as well search his pockets. He's not going to use them anymore.
If the Sorcerer's Circle find out about this may negatively affect our chances with our new contact.
Yeah.
Maybe we could make it look like one killed the other?
Oh, wait. Alcohol. He got drunk and stabbed his friend. That's it. He passed out, blackout drunk, and stabbed his friend in the process.
Lucy will bring out the mug and just pour it down both of their throats. This is Varric's
Spilling
whiskey.
out the cut on
Yeah, exactly.
You may want to put a bit of blood on his hands.
Grab the other one's hand and wipe it on the
Slap
throat.
it on the...
Just as long as they both stink of whiskey and one of them has a bit of alcohol smell in their mouth.
Yes, I believe this will work.
Give one of them a knife. I've got a spare knife. I'll put it in one of their hands, and I'll put it in the alive guy's hand and put it around, and then stab the other guy in the throat again.
In the hole I made, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, great sage once said that alcohol was both the cause and the solution to all of life's problems.
Ooh.
Exactly, Cleo.
I've got an idea.
That's what.
I've got some bottles. We should leave some here.
As long as they're empty, I mean, that'd be good.
Yeah, like
I think we need to put a trace of alcohol in.
Yeah, I'll put some in. It's fine. Like it's knocked over.
Well, I'll finish it. I can easily enough drink it, and
It's fine. I can make more. Don't worry.
man, it's just you're wasting a lot of alcohol. I just want to.
At that point, Luci will just pour some in Varric's mouth. There you go.
That's good stuff. I like that. That's good.
Cool.
So
Yeah, we will check their pockets just in case there's something.
you find like a pipe and
Yeah, we'll leave all that stuff.
just loads of scrolls of general kind of their own writing, quill, ink pot. But nothing really of use, to tell you the truth.
I take the pipe.
Right, there's a little pouch of tobacco as well.
I take that.
Do we know either of those names? Did
Nope.
we hear it at all? Is there anything on them that signifies their names?
Nope. So, what would you like to do next?
I guess we're heading into this cave, right?
Hold. Let me have ordered it. Let me take a look first. And course will cast with a ritual detect magic.
You detect there is a significant amount of magic all around the place you are about to enter.
The currents of magic are really strong here. Even if there was a ward, I doubt I would be able to sense it under the rest of these signals. It's as though the ruins itself, the entire ruins is one great enchantment.
That sounds like trouble to me.
So,
Well, upon hearing that, Luci will not just walk in.
Thank goodness.
got to go in at some point or another, or we are wasting a journey.
And a murder.
And the murder, yes.
So we go in, but not like fools. Does anyone else have scouting experience in this group?
Or was it Amanita? Could you?
No, not you, Lucy.
Amanita, you can make people stealthy, can't you? Or was that somebody else I'm thinking of?
I don't think so, no.
No? Alright,
I
never
can
mind.
turn myself into a mushroom.
That's pretty stealthy, though. That's good.
I can make somebody stealthy. Well, I can make 2 people. I can make 4 people stealthy technically, but
Save your energies. I will volunteer and go in first. If anything goes wrong, I will signal you.
Well, hold on. Let me tie this rope around you. Just in case. Tie it around your waist. And if anything happens, you just give it a tug and it's fine.
That's wise. Thank you for your consideration.
Well, if you want.
That would be useful. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll cast invisibility on Korsk and myself.
Cool.
Okay. So course will head in.
Could I have a march in order, please?
I'll be following behind Korsk if I can.
We are. It's a 10-foot passageway. At the beginning, it's like a mud walls, soil walls. It's been obviously been dug or eroded away some time ago.
Does Korsk have a tail?
Yes.
Lucy might try and just hold on to the tail.
You can hold onto the rope that's around Korsk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm holding the
Lucy.
Sorry.
Jeez, respect personal space.
Okay.
There's no... I don't know.
Who's going next?
I'll go behind Lucy, and Korsk kind of just feeding the rope along, so I'll be like 5 foot back from them, really. Trying to make sure we're close, but we're not bunched together.
Amanita will puff herself into a mushroom and be very well.
If
Creo
goes inside of Varric's pocket, I can make all 3 of you invisible.
will stand towards the back. Where's Pyrite?
Pyrite is not active at this time. He's in the pack.
Okay, I will leave him at the back then. So, let me show you the map. If I can find it. Yeah. So you need to go... You need to zoom out a bit, possibly,
right.
to
Top
see
left.
where we are. Top
Top
left.
left. Yeah. Oh, why is my health not reset? That's not good.
Might just need to be the token that needs reset, that's all. So you head down this soil wall tunnel, and eventually you find some grey flagstones, and it's all like large, a mishmash of like grey stones on the walls. What? In front of you, you can see the passageway veers off to the right. What would you like to do?
Korsk will, feeding the rope backwards, he'll walk up to this corner and then try to peek around.
Okay.
Also, he has dark vision, if that helps at all.
Okay.
So does Lucy, but he'll sort of feel the rope move and just follow.
Yeah, I think there's only Varric doesn't. I'm not sure about Amanita. Does Amanita have dark vision?
I think she does, but I'll double check for you.
Okay, thank you.
You know, I thought all like, oh, I'm a dragon, it's fine. Part dragon, I can see the dark. Nope. Blind as a bat. No worries.
Well, he is missing one eye.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the lack of,
We'll blame it on
lack
that.
of eyes, isn't it?
Yeah.
No depth perception.
There's no depth perception.
So in front of you, you see a big wooden door. Further down the passage.
Should we go up and see if we can hear anything?
Does the door have a keyhole, or is it like a full set door?
It's just a full set door, it's just a handle.
Okay. Korsk will pull out of his satchel a pair of pebbles, which he'd what's the word for it? Basically infused on the way there, so they glow with a very gentle, bright light. And then he'll skip one down the passageway, and then another immediately following it.
Bright light is this?
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just an empty passageway with a wooden door at the end.
Okay, yeah. It's a bright light in a 5-foot radius. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, he'll he'll continue stepping down carefully down the passageway. Ears listening out. So we'll go like here first, and then a couple of seconds later he'll be here.
So Cleo will follow as well. I need to look at Cleo's character sheet because I need to make sure. I need to make sure he's been handled. Needs to be a 4. And then we need a 75 and 15. So is Amanita following the rest of the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find if I can see.
It looks like your health pool didn't reset, Jess.
Oh. One sec. Come on, load.
Cool. So we've got a door in front of us. What are we doing?
It doesn't have a keyhole, so Korsk will step to within 5 feet.
Okay.
And he'll try running a detect magic on the door.
Don't detect any magic
Okay, let's try.
on the door or the room beyond.
Okay.
Is there a small gap like underneath the door?
Yes.
I could turn into a spider and climb through the other side.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. 2 seconds.
Just don't go too far, though.
I love the fact that Lucy just rolled a critical 20 intelligence roll to not just open the door.
She was wild.
What happened to Marcus opening the door and Lucy just running in?
I know. We have changed so much.
You say that, I can't stop thinking like SWAT style. Like,
Just kick the door down and Eldritch Blast.
yeah.
Eldritch Blast, lightning bolt, just everything coming out that doorway.
So
I have I can't on D&D Beyond. It doesn't come up with an option, so I have wild shaped into a spider.
okay.
So she will literally crawl over everyone, crawling over Lucy, crawling over Kirk, and under the door.
So inside you discover a room with a number of spikes, or an array of spikes sticking out of the walls all across the room. Probably about 20 feet in, there is a older gentleman in a blue sorcerer's robe, clearly dead, impaled on about here on this wall, if you can see that. on the right hand side, basically. About 4 square. You can't see it because I'm not on the right. About there.
Okay. Would it look like would my one, if, like, thinking logically, if they were, let's say they were closing things to close in on each other, looking at it, would a spider get squished?
You would be able to get between the spikes if you were at the right height. If you got caught on the top tip of one of them, you would get squished against the wall of the next one. You can clearly see that they come together like that.
Ooh, that's quite tight.
But, well, not necessarily tight, but they mesh, if you know what I mean. So they over together.
Yeah.
So they don't just do that. They do.
Yeah, obviously.
But there is gaps that you could fit in between the spikes, but you just gotta time it right.
Yeah.
If they come together.
Instigating a group call, Lucy was just asked Amanita, "What'd you see?"
So to be able to answer that, she would need to be in her natural form because the stone is in her pocket.
So with the silence, let's go, guys. Amanita's not answering. What's going on?
She's a spider, Lucy. I don't think she can answer like that.
Besides the fact that the sending stone wouldn't be the right size anymore.
It should get squashed.
Oh! When everything inside me wants to break down the door, he rolls.
Yeah.
Ooh! Crit.
I have a plan.
Against you.
I have a plan, but I don't know how well it's gonna work.
Okay.
Oh crap.
Sorry, are we all okay to just continue until we get to the end of this room? Like 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm tempted to, as a spider, how can I'm just thinking. I'm tempted to. I mean, the spider speed probably won't be quick enough, but I'd have to unform to get Misty Step. My thinking is I run across the room and try and find out see if there's any traps on the floor.
We could test the door for traps and maybe put more eyes onto the problem.
I think that's
sorry, we don't know that, do we? But
Yeah.
perhaps we should check the door for traps.
Oh no.
Oh, don't stop! Oh God!
Upon hearing Cleo's suggestion, Lucy just creates a bonfire under the door.
I mean, that's one way to get.
Doing this, it's like shit. I can't go back that way.
The door is engulfed in flame.
Ooh, fire.
Clearly starts falling to bits with the fire. Nothing else noticeably happens.
Hey, I'm Nia.
She will pop back into her normal form after that. Oh, you scared me! Oh. We have to be careful. These spikes are very spiky.
Careful.
I think we'll get impaled.
Lucy, I know what you're like, and I wouldn't recommend running across.
Lucy, let someone who can let some people who can make the run do it.
Whoa! Who said anything about running?
Yeah,
I can fly.
See the one time I want the critical 20.
Pretty sure I've got it. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go.
I could technically take a flight potion, so we could all just fly over and leave Lucy.
That is true, actually.
Lucy can
Actually,
fly.
talking about flight.
Lucy can fly.
Oh, well,
Oh, okay. So literally all of us are going to fly across the room then.
yeah. Actually,
There's one here for
yeah,
a
but there
bit,
could be something on the ceiling.
I see that, Smart Wayne, and yes, I remember the haystack.
That was genius, though.
Yeah.
The barn full of traps, and Lucy gets obsessed
Ooh.
with this
I've got an
hairstyle
idea.
that was
I
randomly
don't know
there.
if it will work.
So he was obsessed with this random haystack, and I had him do all these perception checks and things like that, and in the end he found a needle.
Okay.
Which is why he has the title of Finder of Needles and Haystacks.
While we're deciding on what to do next, of course, we'll take the 2 pebbles he had earlier and skip them to the opposite side, as far into the room as he can.
Okay. So I would say you can probably get down to about there. Nothing exceptional. It's just as you'd expect.
Can we see the end of the corridor? Yeah.
Yeah, just about. You can faintly see a wooden door at the end.
Okay, so it's about like 80 feet. Oh, okay. Right there.
I can get me and somebody else to the door.
Well, if we can, I mean, I can fly, so I could just hover above the floor and scoot across. That's my plan.
Try and shrink the spikes.
Can you shrink all of them?
What about exploding them?
That would make it worse.
So they are metal spikes in concrete, like brickwork.
Concrete can explode.
Lucy, I would prefer that you don't turn us all into pincushions. Just let Varric and Amanita do their thing.
Okay.
We'll have plenty to do afterward.
I can take someone with me. I think I can hold a person and fly for a bit, so...
Well, if you take me, we can put some people in my pants.
No, thank you, I'll pass.
It's not for very long.
I am not a fan of that plan.
If we're all going to fly over, then I can make my own way.
Okay.
Lucy, I swear I've seen you before, Lucy. I've seen you fly before.
He has. He just wants
I
people.
can. But, like, that would be my last spell slot. And I would have to rest for a while. If you guys don't mind carrying me for an hour. Yeah, sure.
You could look for the trigger, if there is a trigger. Well, obviously there's a trigger. There's a dead man at the side of the room.
Well, I might as well. Can we see any of the tiles on the floor look different?
Not noticeably from where you are stood.
Right, I will go have a look for the trap trigger. I will fly across and see if I can see any mechanism on the floor.
Okay. Could you do a perception roll, please?
Yep. So I've spent the spell slot for fly, and I'm going to do a perception. Awful. 7.
You can see 1 or 2 loose flagstones on the ground, but nothing noticeable other than that.
It's going to be my character to the...
So, this particular one here is loose. And this particular one here is loose.
What's that? This one?
So the one above that one.
Okay.
And the one next to Varric at the moment. on his right-hand side.
Okay. So,
So they're loose flagstones.
leaving the rope in Lucy's hands, Korsk will enter the room and crawl over to next to the loose flagstone. Can I use my thieves' tools to try and, like mine sweeping or something? It's like see if there's a mechanism.
Just say Lucy not being very wise at the minute, hasn't let go of the ropes, and so when you went, he followed.
So could you do a...
It's like a thieves' tools roll, right?
Yeah.
So I get to use my
Is
tool proficiency.
Is it sleight of hand? Or is it just pure dex plus your proficiency, I think?
Yeah. So I've got this set up in my tools section, and because I've got tool expertise, I roll with double proficiency. Oops. Shouldn't be rolling with advantage. Which one do you want to take?
So the left-hand one's always the first roll. So 12.
So that's 12.
You search underneath without wanting to lift up the flagstone. You kind of dig down next to it to see if there's any evidence of a mechanism. It's quite crumbly stone as well, which doesn't help. You eventually manage to get your thieves' tools in, but you cannot find anything to kind of grab hold of underneath. But it's not, so you're left feeling uncertain as to whether or not there was something there or not.
Look up at the Varric and just like, if there is a mechanism, it's too far down.
Well, that's just one of the stones. I've got another one here beside me that's still loose.
Okay, I'm on my way. And he'll, crouching this time, he'll go here. And then to here. Lucy, please don't go diagonal. Please.
You might have pulled Lucy across that tile.
Why you let go of the rope?
He's done! Well, okay, we'll see.
So you would have known that he was sick, so... Dex
maybe
save.
not.
Could you do a dex save, please? Because you would have tried it, I think.
Me? Okay.
Got an idea.
So as he's pulling you along, you manage to skip over the tile.
A graceful, like, ballet skip over the time.
So,
which, if anyone could see me, would look very impressive.
Could you do your thieves' tools roll again, then, please?
There we go.
Okay. That you manage to get underneath this one. Again, you can't find anything. Eventually, you become convinced that it's just a loose flagstone. Lift it up, and your suspicion is confirmed. There's nothing under that flagstone.
And look right, like, look there. The trigger is not these flagstones. It might be further in.
You know that the trigger is not that flagstone.
Can Lucy now in the room notice anything about the tiles? Or see a trigger anywhere?
Do a perception check, please.
Can Marwan check the body that's impaled on the spike?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was over there.
Yeah. So could you do an investigation check, though, please, Amanita?
Lucy sees out.
Yeah. So you don't see anything of note on the flagstones. The only thing you notice, Jess, Amanita, is that the body is about 3 feet off the ground when it was impaled.
Can she look up at the ceiling to see if there's anything on the ceiling?
It's just flagstones like the bottom of the room.
I don't know about this, guys, but he seems to be quite high up for someone who got squished. Maybe he was flying.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm going to stay quite close to the ground then. I'm kind of like, you know, in the Mission Impossible movies, where like, they kind of stop just like a centimeter before the floor. I'm going to be like that close to the floor, just hovering above and going across slowly, just in case.
Okay. So, are you advancing then?
Yeah, I'll just try and like slowly hover and float towards the door.
Are you still looking for loose flagstones?
Yeah, I'll still look for like a trap mechanism of some description.
Okay. So, I'll get my paintbrush out then. So, that one. That one. That one. That one. And that one. All appear to be loose. Oh, and that one, sorry. I would have got you to roll for it, but it was quite obvious. I'm just conscious of time, given it's 10 to 7. So, how are we getting on? What are we doing?
Once Varric communicates the information, Korsk will attempt to maneuver through the left side gap. This time he's going to, after feeling Luci bump into him after that skip, he's going to bodily drag him in his passage.
Okay.
So that'll be a there, and he will stop and do one more attempt to check the flagstone.
Which one are you checking?
That's this one.
Okay. So, use your thieves' swords.
How many?
Difficult to tell. If again, it's stuck. It's one side of it is quite. There's a bit of resistance, as or it's still kind of like concreted down. So you kind of, it's wobbly at one end, but you're trying to get underneath, but you just, because it's kind of stuck fast at one end, it's difficult to get your thieves' tools in. So you have no idea as to whether or not it is.
It's like naturally cemented or something.
That sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moment of truth then. Let's do the last crawl section.
Amanita's gonna misty step over to Varric.
We move diagonally through the gaps.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. All right. So of course we'll move basically next to Varric. Yeah.
Right.
And he will be bodily dragging Luci.
Okay. So what you doing?
Beyond 20 doesn't let me do anything stupid today. Can we hear anything through this door?
Here.
Yes.
Since I'm next to him, I'll run once. Oh wait, no, don't need to.
18.
18. You can hear very faint music. It's like do 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 do.
Somebody's having a party. Amanita, do you think you could check again? See what's on the other side of the door?
Give it a go.
Okay.
And to it.
And she'll turn into a
fire. It's just us.
Okay. So let me just. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to be on the right dynamic lighting layer, don't I? So you sneak under the door.
I would say you probably feel a tickle going up your back, guys, as she crawls over you guys.
And you see a corridor, and you can hear down to the left. That do 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 do.
Mama's gonna climb up the wall and like sneakily look down the corridor. Wow, that's a long corridor.
It's quite a long corridor, but as you turn the corner, you can hear the music. Just the same two lines here.
Amanita will crawl back like halfway through the door and kind of like in her spider form wiggle her legs like it's like
Is it dancing?
While Lucy is busy dancing in the spike room.
she's just like trying to, she doesn't want to transform you, but she's just like
Of course, we'll just go and open the door.
Okay. Could Lucy, Varric, and Cleo all roll dex saves, please?
No. Whoa. 15.
Let me have a look what the DC was.
I don't suppose you can charm spikes with what Lucy's doing.
I need to roll Cleo as well. Of course, he's like 15 foot away from the door, so he's going to be even. Right, what was I? What save was I doing?
The dex save.
Oh, it's dex save, wasn't it? Dex. 14. So, Varric, feeling the ground move under, dives through the door.
I mean, I was flying still, so I just...
Alright, fine, whatever.
10 minutes, I was just hovering above and seeing the
you
ground.
managed to get out. You managed to get out. Sensing the ground, you can feel the vibrations.
Feel the vibrations.
You just dived for the door. Lucy and Cleo just feel the ground flip to one side, and they both go tumbling down towards the spikes. Taking.
No, fuck that.
Is it? Was Lucy still on the rope?
Yeah, he was still on the rope.
Is it?
17 points of damage to both of you. Could you do
Fair enough.
Could you do a strength check, please, Sam?
Okay. I'll burn.
Athletics. Sorry, athletics.
Okay. I'm burning one of my magical strength charges, so there's a result that comes up, has a +3. So we'll need to add that on.
Cool.
So it's 15 athletics.
Okay. So you feel Lucy hit this, like, pull towards you, and you manage to just brace yourself on the doorway as he goes tumbling into the spikes.
So his breastplate flares as the armor starts to add to his strength.
17 piercing damage to both Luci and Cleo. And on that note, we shall leave it there for this week.
Why does Luci always gets damaged in his ass? If I've fallen backward, it's
You've fallen sideways as you were
Okay,
dancing.
that's fine then. That's okay.
Yeah. I'm not allowing the fly as a reaction.
Yeah.
You were dancing, you were distracted.
Yep.
Sorry.
I was distracted, Lucy. Oops.
It is always Lucy's backside, though, isn't it?
It
From
is.
the pigeon.
I fell on my ass.
That's the episode title.
What's that?
Oh,
It's always Lucy's backside.
Except for the pigeon.
We travel and roll our intentions.